We wanted to make our border meaningless. So if there was only one thing, if you come together, then you will survive. Then you can fight the USSR and then you can fight the USA. Another hidden agenda behind the European Eurozone, the common currency was the ambition of Germany to dominate Europe. Germany has failed to dominate Europe in both world wars. But now you see, every country in the Eurozone, all the 17 countries are totally, except France, they are totally dependent on Germany. So this was a hidden agenda of Germany to dominate the Europe.
No, actually, when they were forming EU, other countries actually wanted to keep Germany in check. But what happened now was actually Germany is actually dominating others.
I'm telling you about Eurozone. And when the Eurozone talk was going on 17, 18, the Western Germany was totally integrated in the Western world.
Yeah.
So before that, this was an agenda, coal and steel with the Luxembourg, France, Belgium, Holland and Germany with the form. That was an agenda at that time. But 70s, 80s, they were the leading country. In 70s, I think perhaps 70s, the Western Germany crossed UK and the France as on the economic term. So after that, this was not there.
No, you were saying that Germany wanted to dominate others.
Yeah, this is actually happening today.
No. I think that was a consequence of what happened basically on the productivity issues. For example,
but
other countries wanted to dominate Germany. That's why they formed the Eurozone. But at present, because of the labor productivity, this thing, they're better economy than any other country.
There is a group of 10 or 15 guys. How can the poor chap dominate on the leading chap, the front guy?
No, when I see, for example, there are 10 poor guys. He can, if they actually come together, there's a chance that they can dominate the main guy. That is possible always, right?
You take the example,
14 versus 1, so there's always a chance.
Which country has benefited most from the...
That is an unintended consequences. That's exactly what I'm saying.
This is not my idea. What I heard from many German or many French analysts, they are saying that this was the hidden agenda. Now it's coming out. At that time, nobody thought that they will destroy Greece, they will destroy Spain. Nobody thought about it.
I think what he's trying to say is that although the idea behind EU was so that Germany could be put in control, but Germany's hidden agenda was to increase its power. And ultimately that is what it is.
Mainly the Denmark, mainly the not to submit to the German government. The UK would have benefited much more if it would have been the part of Europe. But why this was a political reason why the UK guy or why they will surrender their pawn to a German dominant? It can't happen. But France had some political reasons because they also wanted to share the booty with the Germany. So they went with the Germany. You take any summit of Europe, only two guys dominate all the Euro summit. One the president and the German chancellor.
No, why do you think they dominate? They deserve to dominate because they are better run.
I'll give you an example. When the German mark was the most strong currency at the time of and the lira and other currency was lower. You take example, earlier what used to happen, a BMW made in Germany was costlier and a Ferrari made in Italy were cheaper. But now you see, almost, there's some difference, but almost they have the same currency. Now the thing is that BMW is far cheaper than this Ferrari. So if you will get a cheaper thing, then what you will buy? You will buy definitely a cheaper. So it has boosted the German. But the problem is the Greek problem is that the mainstay Greek is not an industrial country. It's an agricultural country and it's a tourism country. So the Germans have got a market, but in the end the Greeks have not got anything.
See, the second depends on labor competitiveness. Okay, so when there was huge labor competitive difference between Greece and Germany. For example, the labor currency, the labor waging bill was more than Germany, even though Greece economy was not as efficient or productive as Germany. So there's a basic difference is there.
I would like to add on to the discussion. Actually, as we really rightly said, the main, the basic aim of forming the European Union and the Eurozone was first to unite a very weak set of countries and secondly to contain the powers of Germany. But as Achal has pointed out, actually the main problem was when Eurozone was formed, then if I have to give an analogy to the function of Eurozone, the only thing that comes to my mind is the function of USA. USA also similarly 50 different states, 50 or different into a United States. But the only difference between the formation of US and the Eurozone was, firstly, Eurozone is just a monetary policy, and secondly, when US was formed, all the different states, they were at different points of financial performance. Some had debt, some had surpluses. But when USA was formed, all those states started with at zero position. It means all their debts and surpluses were wiped out. But with Eurozone, that did not happen. Like as Ajay pointed out, when Germany entered the Eurozone, it was already running into surpluses, and some countries like Greece and Italy were already running into debt. So they came with the added baggage. That has, kind of helped in the entire process.
Greece again is not just shipping industry.
Actually, Greece has concentrated more on other than its core competency. Later, Eurozone came into picture, other than agriculture.
Germany's agenda in joining the Euro, but what is the agenda behind those countries, the 4 countries they joined? Was it because because they had other options not to?
Actually, let's take a moment. There are 3 or 4 companies. They have like different competitors in the market, different rates they get the loans. Like some they are getting loans at 10%, some at 4%. So combine these 2 companies, one of them is the most strongest one. Because now you know that this is wrong. This can like service its debts and everything. What will happen is the loan rate for all the companies will go down. They will all get loans at 4%. This is what happened in Eurozone. Greece was getting loan at 10%.
18%. And when they joined Euro, they got it 5%.
That's what happened. They got loans at a much cheaper.
And apart from those, also, it's like at that point of time, Eurozone was emerging as a very threatening big sum. So these small countries, they have to come together. And against Germany also.
And as Achal said, why would Germany join the Eurozone when it is already performing much better than it is performing? Okay. Why it join? Basically, it must be a political agenda. There can be nothing else. They are already good. There is a political agenda. I don't think like they had an economic agenda.
Balance.
Actually, there was a question. There was some question when they say European Union and Eurozone. What is the overlap and how they are?
They are different in the sense the European Union is a block of 27 countries, which includes UK and other countries also. They all do not use euro as a currency. 17 of them use euro, 10 do not. Eurozone is the block which uses euro. And European Central Bank is the bank which manages, that is the central bank for these 17 countries also. They cannot, like, it performs a monetary policy thing for all these countries. Right? Actually, all the other 10 countries have their own central bank. They print money on it. European Central Bank prints money for all these countries. They do not have a monetary policy. Yes, 17 countries have euro, other 10 countries have euro. Yeah, 11 countries. But euro 10 has.
The point is that
European Union was formed. Then few of them decided that we should have a better integration by having a common currency. Due to political reasons, the UK and the Denmark and the other countries didn't join this.
the point is that the whole EU was based on 3 stages. It was to form on the 3 stages. First was the formation of that ECSC and all those treaties. Second, Second was the like having a parliament and all the banks and all. Third was the monetary union. Third stage was the monetary union, and some countries joined out of the 27 or whatever the present member then. Some countries joined monetary union, some didn't join. So those who joined are the 17 countries which form the Eurozone, and they still are the part of the whole EU. The EU is a big, like you can say the set. Eurozone is a subset.
Okay, the point is that if some countries going out of Eurozone,
Yeah.
it can still be part of the European Union, right?
Yeah,
Yes, they will.
yeah,
They
they are
will
still the
be.
part
They
of
will be.
European Union.
It has the same
They have the
benefits like in
same.
Eurozone, they have MCB. Okay, it controls the currency and everything. They get bailout packages from this,
European Union.
Now they will get the like packages from Eurozone, European Union. They will be able to support it.
Movement of goods and people across the European Union is very less. If you are an Indian applying for a UK visa and a Greek applying for a UK visa, Greeks will get it.
In Eurozone, everybody is getting the same
Even
facility.
in
No one
European
from
also they are getting this. Till now there is no country who has moved out. There is, at the treaty with Britain, there was no clause because nobody thought that everybody will go. Even you can't expel, as per treaty you can't expel anyone. Starting the debate now.
Yeah, debate topic was. So,
In case of Greece, you mentioned that basically they were cooking their books, right?
yeah.
You mentioned taxes in it. I didn't get the concept behind it. You said that they were reducing taxes, right?
Taxes.
That was steps taken. No.
No. You mentioned something where
No, I said the revenue, government revenues were decreasing, right? So one of the government revenues is basically taxes, collecting taxes. The point was when during that time they did not even collect taxes properly at all. Nobody wanted to pay taxes. Right. So when you don't pay taxes, where will you get the revenue? So there's a huge loss.
so how are they cooking books? You were saying something. You made a point related to cooking books with taxes.
I think I was talking with respect to deficits and all that. So when you don't increase the price to such a value, then they had no necessity. That was what we were talking.
I wasn't saying cooking books with respect to taxes. I was saying basically cooking books with respect to how they reduce their deficit. One of the reasons was 3% deficit. But it was more actually. But they managed their accounts in such a way that they only showed 3%.
So they have to qualify for Eurozone.
Yes.
One of the financial parameters that are but nowadays nobody is following that. According to that treaty, you have to give the resources not to get than 60%. Even the French, even the UK and the Germans have around 80%. Because ratification was happening.
So did you mean that they had maintained low fiscal deficit in their books by showing more tax revenue?
More revenues from, I don't know from where. And Goldman Sachs again played a huge role. I mean, that is actually never put out anywhere normally, but I kind of got some other articles. But they actually helped them to securitize all those, what do you call it, your toll bills, whatever money they got, they securitized and they sold it to them in the market, saying that you get a good return. So that's how they kind of increased their revenues.
That would still be a liability.
Yeah,
That would still be a liability.
yeah.
But not for them, they already sold it to someone.
No, it will still be a liability for them. These are there. That is the way they raise the debt. Actually, suppose a bridge is there. They will break the bridge into thousands or lakhs of parts, and they will break the part like virtually. They will break the parts into bond or something. That is what called securitization, and they will sell the parts in the market. So whatever the return on the bridge, the buyers will get the proportionate return depending on the investment in that security. That's what is securitization.
Okay, the topic is should Greece exit Euro or not? I am actually against that they should not exit Euro.
Along the group.
Okay.
Who's the moderator?
Yeah, let's make two for against. Can you come this side?
Groups are not.
No, you sit on one side like against and for. One group there, other group there.
One, two groups. For against, against, there will be repetition.
Against and for.
Against, for against, plus. Group for against,
Against
against,
Euro
there will be repetition of points.
Greece exiting Euro.
That's what I said. 4 against are taken, 4 and against. There will be,
for against,
there will be repetition. No?
Yeah.
One side 4, one side against.
For
Against here and those who don't have perspective.
That's better.